super excited to be here today with my friend Kirby, who I met a couple of months ago. And I thought that I would invite her on today and have a little chat about what her experience has been over the last month or two. Because when I met Kirby, she was my dental hygienist. And personally, I don't love the dentist. Don't tell anyone, but I don't love the dentist. It kind of freaks me out a little bit. And I met Kirby and she was so kind and so informative. And she's like, it's cool. I'm just going to educate you through this process. And I never had somebody that actually took the time and care. So the value that she provided as a dental hygienist was something that really hit home for me because I work, all day trying to provide value to other people. And finally, I felt like I was getting taken care of. So thanks so much, Kirby. I would love you to just kind of tell people a little bit about your life and where you came from and what you're doing on the island and how you landed up at the dental office, and then we can kind of go from there. How does that sound?
Oh, thank you, Christina. That's so sweet of you to say. There's a very, very small fraction of the population that really loves coming to the dental office. And you are definitely part of the majority where it's not your favorite place to be. And I understand that. And I try and make everybody's experience as best as I can. And that's always my goal.
You're very good at your job. And I also know, like, you're a mom, you have 3 kids at home. So your life is very busy.
Yeah, we are busy. We have 3 kids, 7, 4, and 2. Very wild children, and we adore them, of course. And we are originally from Ontario, from Windsor, Ontario, and we've lived in BC now for the last 14 years. We kind of followed jobs, and that's what led us to Northern BC first, and now for the last year and a half, Vancouver Island. So we love it down here, and we're so happy that we made the move. And it's
Well,
been
I think
really
you
good.
were in Prince George before, right?
Prince Rupert.
Prince Rupert, that's right. Sorry,
Yeah.
I always confuse, which is so silly because I'm from Pal River, so you'd think PR, I'd remember that. All the
Yeah.
P's, but
All P's, too many P's.
so many places to remember. But
Right.
it's really cool because you guys came to the island. I mean, I bet the weather's better here. I saw that you went camping this weekend with your kids.
Yeah, it rained a lot, actually.
Right. I
It's
know this
fine,
weekend was kind of funny, hey?
yeah, but we are used to that, and we had 3 sets of rain gear per kid, and we were still. It didn't stop us, so yeah, it was good. A lot of people
Well,
hid in their tents, but we were the ones taking over the campground
I
for sure.
love it. I mean, because it's not cold, right? So, like, that's
No,
the difference between Prince Rupert and here is that it doesn't really get cold. I mean, this is probably the coldest summer we've had in a while, but it's doable, right? It's doable to be outside with kids. We actually went around a campfire with a few of Ryan's high school friends, and it rained on us the whole time, but we were just there sitting around the campfire as he was riding her bike, and everything's cool. So it's so nice that we get to do those things. And now I know that. So you told me a little bit about your job when I first met you, and you were in on a maternity. How do you say that?
yeah, maternity leave. I was
You were in
covering for
substituting for
maternity.
somebody on
Yeah,
maternity leave,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you also have another job in the city that you usually work on the weekend. So you must have got the weekend off to be able to go camping.
That's right. Yes. So they're very flexible, which is awesome. Really appreciate that. Love that office. But I would like to one day to say goodbye to weekends to kind of reclaim family life back. And it's kind of been my goal the last couple months.
Yeah, because so when I met you, you were doing this job and you weren't really sure if that was going to be extended or how that was going to work out. And so I just mentioned to you, I just said, hey, if you're ever open to learning a little bit about what I do and having some money that you can make from home around what you're doing already, because if you have to go back part-time or if you end up full-time, whatever it is, it's really flexible. And we kind of connected on Facebook and we started talking and so what was it that like made you curious about the industry?
You made me curious about the industry when I met you at my work. You're one of those people where I just wanted to put the chair up. I wanted to put my instruments down, and I just wanted to sit there and chat for an hour. Do nothing to do with dentistry at all. But I was really intrigued by your story and how you were able to do so much with your life and your family's life because of this.
Yeah. Just like you went camping this weekend, I'm very grateful for the weekend that I had because in my past life 5 years ago, there would have been no camping, there would have been no family days at the beach, none of that. I would have been working, I would have been doing weddings, and those are things that I sign contracts to 6 months to a year in advance. So it doesn't matter how beautiful the weekend is, I'm not getting it off, right?
Yeah, no, totally.
So it's one of those things. Now, you decided that you were going to kind of hop on board, and you didn't have any experience, any education. Like this is not your background. Social media, marketing, online stuff. Like that's not really your background, is it?
No, not at all.
Mine either. It's okay. Don't worry.
Not at all. No, it was yeah, it was a little scary and intimidating, and at times it's definitely still continuing to push me outside of my comfort zone. But
Like right
it's
now.
really like right now. Like right now is a great example. It's just not something I would normally do, but these last 10 minutes have taught me that it's not that scary.
Right. There you go. I love that you've been clocking it, by the way. No, and like that's the thing is that most times we procrastinate the things that we want to do out of fear. We're scared to do them. I mean, I'm totally guilty of this, by the way. I knew that I wanted to expand my business on a different platform for a long time. And I'll give you the example of LinkedIn. I never thought about expanding a platform on or my business and my platform on LinkedIn because I was like, I'm not smart enough. I don't know if I should be there. Like, I don't know how to set up a profile. And I kind of talked myself out of it until I realized it's just the same as everything else. Everything is figure outable, and you can just kind of put one foot in front of the other and make sense of it all. Like it doesn't need to be so overwhelmingly terrifying just because you haven't done anything. And if anything, this last 5 years has taught me is that when you actually do step outside of your comfort zone and do something different that you've never done before, you're just like honing your skills and putting them in your toolbox for later on. Like, oh, okay, I can do that. Like that's something that'll be okay. So what was it like? You've had a ton of success, by the way. So no experience at all, but you came in, you plugged into the system that we have. You were totally coachable and asked really great questions. Because I said to you, I'm like, hey, Kirby, if you want to learn this business, I'll teach you everything that I know and I'll speed up the process for you because I made a lot of mistakes. So I'll teach you the right way to do it. And we'll do this together. And in your first month, you made $1,000, which is incredible, by the way. We get daily pay, and that kept showing up in your inbox, and you're like, I just keep getting paid. This is amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm really proud of you for that. Now, what did was it what you were expecting?
The definitely the cherry on top, the big reason why I jumped in with 2 feet was because of the systems and the how easy it is. It's step 1, 2, 3, and then you go to the next unit, step 1, 2, 3, and you just kind of go through it all. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go into this with both my feet. I have zero expectations, and it definitely exceeded my expectations. Just how easy it was to kind of just incorporate it into what I'm already doing on social media.
Yeah. So like the thing of being a busy mom, like I only have one kid and I'm like, you have three. So like life is busy, but the fact that you can incorporate it and do it on your own time around your family schedule, and like your kids don't need you every second of the day, right? There are pockets of your day that you've got 10 minutes to yourself when you lock yourself in the bathroom.
That's right.
Or right? Or like you're outside with them and they're playing in the yard and you got 15 minutes here. There's pieces of your day that you can put this into so that A, you don't feel like you're working all day and you can still be there for your kids, but B, you can still build a business built on these little tiny blocks of time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've been, listening to things while I'm folding laundry, or answering people while I'm sitting in the front seat and Chris is driving the truck. And yeah, you just kind of fit it into where you can. You just have to prioritize and try and find ways to multitask. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that as moms, we're pretty good at that multitasking. We have to be good at it.
Yeah.
And so this is just kind of one more thing. But in the beginning, I find that sometimes people can be overwhelmed, but the way that we have it set up is you work through it and you learn something and then you apply it, and you learn something and then you apply it. And so were you surprised at how much traction you got off of like what we were telling you what to do? And you're like, oh, this actually works. Like when you do this, this happens. When you do this, this happens. Were you like kind of surprised at how quickly that happened?
Yeah, I was actually. And so was my husband, because he was very skeptical. He's very supportive, but very skeptical of where this would kind of lead. And
Sure.
we were both very blown away after my first month, after what I was able to do, and the amount of people I was able to connect with, and also, how much money I earned after my
Yeah.
first month.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And like what you realize once you come into a business like this, it's not just about the money. I mean, that's what you come in for anyways, right? To make some extra money. If you didn't want to make extra money, then you wouldn't have started a business, right? But the sneaky thing that happens is like the community of people that are there. It's a different kind of mentality that we all kind of support each other, we encourage each other, we do it together. So you never really feel like you're alone in that. And the other thing is, and part of the reason that I pivoted to this type of online business, this type of social marketing and social retail, is because what they do works, and the products that we have people want. There's a massive demand for the products that we have. We're deemed an essential service right now, and people want, everything is shifting online, right? We've had the shifting retail part of our business for 6 years, but now retail is shifting online. 60% of retail is online now, and it's going to be up to 65 or 70% by the end of next year. So you think about that, and you think about your everyday regular job, and you think about, okay, how can I leverage? Because when you work a regular job, you go to work, here are the hours I work, this is what I get paid. This is the agreement that we have. I will be here 20 hours a week or 40 hours a week, and this is the paycheck that I get. But when you work online and you can leverage social media, more eyeballs on you, right? More people that you can talk to without having to make appointments, without having to run around town, without having to go events. When you can work online from your home in your pajamas and be able to leverage your time and expose yourself to so many different people, it changes the game in how you make money. So you're not necessarily working harder and harder and harder to make more money, right? Instead, you're working smart. You're learning a few skills that you can use in everyday life, like the skills that you have as a dental hygienist. You're personable. You can have conversations with people. You know how great customer service, right? You know how to add value and take care of people. Those are all skills that transfer easily into your side hustle, right? Easily into your online business.
Absolutely. Yes, it definitely does. I mean, even dentistry has come a long way. You used to go to the dentist out of necessity, and now because of the internet, you have the option to choose a dental office that is based off of your beliefs or values or the reviews, right? Reviews are huge. So it is definitely customer service based, whereas before it might not have been.
That's just so interesting to me. And I'm really excited because I know that your goal, I know that you've got your two jobs and that your goal is to be able to leave your weekend job so that you can hang out with your family on the weekend. Who wouldn't want to do that, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, look at us as moms. We always want to be there for our kids. We want to be the people that are raising our kids. Like if we had a choice, our kids wouldn't be in daycare. They would be at home with us. Like this
Yeah.
is, and I won't say that for every mom, but most moms feel this way. But the problem is that financially, we feel this responsibility for our household. And nowadays, you need a dual income to thrive. Like you literally need two parents that are working, but we don't want to leave our kids behind. We want to be present and conscious for our kids and want to be there on the weekends and doing the things that we want. But we struggle with this all the time because we feel that we have to be financially responsible for our families. But there's a better way, right? Like there's
Yeah.
another way other than packing on 2, 3, 4 jobs and working on other people's time. You can work in increments of time around your life and create that other income. That's the beauty of online business. Like that's how things are shifting and changing. And people, I think, often say no because they don't know what they're saying no to. But what we do is something that is going to grow and grow and grow and be more popular online. That you're going to see more people doing it. This is going to be kind of a normal way of life. And so we just show people that, right? Like we show up on social media and we follow along with a few steps and we're training. It's kind of like a paid personal development class, right? Like
Oh, totally.
it
Yeah.
helps you grow. It helps you learn these skills. It helps you get over the hump of like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that, but like I can do it. And it allows you to build confidence and also be a really great example for your kids, showing them that, hey, I can be around you guys and I can also do this and I can do this. And, this is what's important to us is our family values, being here for them. And they see that in everything that you do. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I've always in my life worked, well, growing up, I mean, as a teenager and young adult, I was working 2 or 3 jobs at a
Yeah.
time, and so this isn't totally foreign to me, but I'd like, yeah, definitely the ability to work less outside of the home, work more inside of the home, and watch my children grow, right? That's
Yeah.
why you have children,
That's
to
what it's all
watch
about.
them. Yeah.
Now, can you tell me what the like is there something that you were really surprised about this business? Is there something that surprised you?
Well, I was pleasant. Maybe just because I wasn't really expecting it, I was just really pleasantly surprised by the community, which you had touched on earlier, for sure. I mean, I've started making some really good friends now, which I've never met in person, which is crazy,
I
right? It's
know.
not the traditional way of doing things and making connections, but it's bringing the social back to social media.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and I'm looking forward to meeting some this summer, hopefully. And yeah, so
Yeah.
that's been my biggest surprise, is that, and just, yeah, just how easy it's kind of all kind of flowed.
Yeah, and like, you put effort in. You came in, you plugged into the systems, you were consistent every single day. You linked arms with me, you're asking questions. There are definitely people that don't have the same success, but if you come in and you're open to learning and you kind of get rid of all of your expectations and you're like, "Okay, I'm just going to be open and do what they say to do and see what happens." And it kind of changes the game. And that's what's so fascinating to me too, especially in this time when we're not maybe visiting as many people as we would before, or like even as a mom, like I'm sorry, but it's really hard to make friends as a mom
It
when you're at
is.
home with your family, you're balancing work, you're running to sporting events, you're like kind of doing it all. It's hard to find a community of like-minded women or like-minded men, right?
It is, especially when you go from one town to another as well. It's really, really difficult to kind of collect another circle that you fit into. Absolutely. I've felt that for sure since we've moved down here. But I'm, like I said, I've met people now that I, will message and ask really random questions, and they'll lead to a 20-minute conversation about something completely different. So
Yeah. Oh, I love that, Kirby. Well, I just wanted to congratulate you on your initial success. I know that this will continue to grow for you and continue to be something that gives you more freedom to spend time with your family. And I'm grateful that we got put in touch, because I had the same struggles as you moving to this community. Even though it's only an hour away from where we were living, it's a completely different. Like we left our social circle, right? People that we
yeah,
saw all the time, people that we called all the time, and that's really, it can be really isolating, especially like how we live around our yard and like out in the country, right? So I'm really happy that we connected, and that this is something that we get to do together. And I think about our kids and getting our kids together and being able to do those things, and it's such a nice feeling to have a village, right? Like it takes a
absolutely.
village to raise your kids. And especially if you don't have family right in the area, it's really great. So, anyways, I just wanted to congratulate you on your success. I absolutely love working with you. You are so much fun. You are totally open to coaching, which makes my job and my life super easy. And I want to thank you today also for jumping on a live video that you're just like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. And like you did it. That's the thing, is that you get to these places that you're like, I feel uncomfortable because I've never really done that before. And then you hop on and you're like, oh, it's just having a conversation with a friend like we did last weekend.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you
So
so
thank you.
much for inviting me onto this call. You've continued to support me and push me outside of my bubble. And yeah, sometimes you just need that little push, and I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You have an amazing day. I hope you go outside, you enjoy the sunshine with your kids, and you and I will talk very, very soon. Thank you again for sharing your story. I really appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Christina.
You're
Talk to
welcome.
you soon. Bye.
Bye.